Imagine a woman who spent almost her entire life inside one house. In her later years, she rarely even left her bedroom. She dressed always in white, like a living ghost wandering the hallways. She never married, she never had a career, and she saw very few visitors. To her neighbors in the small town of Amherst, she was a mystery, a myth. They thought her life was small, empty, and perhaps a little sad. But inside that quiet room, with a view of the garden, she was traveling through the entire universe. She was discovering secrets about life, death, and God that no one else dared to say. Today we are talking about the Belle of Amherst, Emily Dickinson. How did a woman who lived in total silence become one of the most powerful voices in history? And how can her quiet life show us that freedom is something you build inside your own mind? Emily was born in 1830 into a prominent and strict family in Massachusetts. Her father was a powerful lawyer and a congressman. As a young girl, Emily was witty, bright, and full of life. She loved her friends, she loved music, and she was an excellent student. But as she grew older, something inside her began to change. The social rules of her time felt like a cage. The world expected her to be a wife, a mother, and a social butterfly. But Emily wanted something deeper. She began to withdraw, step by step, from the normal world. She didn't do it because she was afraid of people. She did it because she wanted to protect her inner flame. She spent her days baking bread, tending to her beloved flowers, and writing. She wrote on the backs of envelopes, on scraps of paper, and in tiny hand-sewn booklets. She wrote over 1,800 poems, but in her entire life, only about 10 were ever published. And even those few were changed by editors who didn't understand her genius. They tried to fix her punctuation. They tried to make her rhymes correct. But Emily's soul was too wild to be corrected. She lived through the terror of the American Civil War from her window. She watched her friends and family pass away, one by one. She faced the great silence of death with incredible curiosity. She famously wrote, "Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me." For Emily, death was not an end, but a carriage ride into eternity. She found more life in a single bee or a ray of light than most people find in a lifetime of travel. She taught us that to live is so startling, it leaves little time for anything else. In her final years, she would only talk to visitors through a closed door. She died in 1886 at the age of 55. It was only after her death that her sister Lavinia opened a locked chest and discovered the thousands of poems that would change literature forever. The world finally saw what Emily had known all along, that you don't need to travel the world to own it. Think about your own inner room. We are told that to be successful, we must be out there, visible, loud, and constantly moving. But Emily reminds us that there is a different kind of power in being still. She shows us that your imagination is the only country that has no borders. You might feel lonely, or misunderstood, or stuck in one place. But remember that your soul has blueprints for entire galaxies. The soul should always stand ajar, she said, ready to welcome the extraordinary in the middle of the ordinary. In the comments today, let's be as honest as a poem hidden in a chest. Is there a part of your life that feels small to others, but is deeply important to you? How do you find your own quiet freedom when the world feels too loud? Tell me your story. Every time you feel like you aren't doing enough, remember the woman in white. You don't have to go anywhere to reach the stars. Your depth is your true destination. Consistency and inner vision are your superpowers. If you value the deep, honest struggle over the fast shortcut, join us at Better Me English. Which part of Emily's invisible journey touched your spirit today? I will be waiting for you in the comments. Stay bold, stay honest, and keep your soul ajar.
Words like linen lace to map the edges edges of the infinite space. Oh, the slant of the sun, it tells me the truth, a bitter draught for the thirsty youth. I am the queen of a house made of glass, watching the seasons and shadows that pass. I catch the ghost of a distant blue. In the quietest of this night.